What has been your proudest moment in Parliament for 15 years?
It's very difficult to recall everything that has happened in the 15 years. I chaired a committee on COSASE 2014-2016, did a report, 2 reports, but the most important one for me was a report on human resource in public enterprises. And not because of the statistics generated out of that report, because 49% of the CEOs were all coming from Western Uganda, 9 from the north, about 21 from the center. And when I hear the president saying he has transformed Ankole, he wants people to go and visit, that transformation has come with many things, including those kind of appointments. So my work in COSASE, I am very proud of what I did. I don't want to judge others, but I am not sure there is anyone who has done the kind of work that we did.
Now, I'm curious, do you think that, for example, someone deliberately creates a move to have CEOs recruited from one part of Uganda? It could have been a coincidence.
I think human nature, we looked at human resource in all the enterprises. There was a CEO in one of the electricity companies from Masaka. The biggest percentage of staff in that enterprise were from Masaka. We had someone from Bushenyi who was running a post office. The biggest number of staff were from Bushenyi. So the tendency by human nature is to serve people that you know, people that are close to you, people are from your area. That happened almost in every enterprise, that the home district of the CEO would benefit more. And we made the recommendations because there are many people who came in as interns, as part-time, as what, and then they ended up becoming staff. So any avenue that could facilitate recruitment from the home area of a CEO were exploited. Some of them legitimate and are part of the human resource manuals in those organizations of how people can join. But they exploit. But I am not happy particularly for that report, but I am happy that we were able to do work which I am sure nobody has done since we left that committee. My work in the budget committee and the committee on finance, something I'm very proud of. I have left Parliament, I am still being invited to discuss finance-related matters. Yes, I am not an economist. There are economists in the country. I am invited to discuss budget. Recently, I was invited by economic students in Makerere, only to be stopped by the administration. Say, don't bring Semuju here. You can imagine students of economics inviting a journalist to speak about budget and finance. So the one thing I discovered is that the moment you dedicate time, it's always not too late to learn. Even things that you didn't know, if you dedicate time, you can learn and even do them better than those who are qualified in those areas. So I am very proud with my work in the budget committee, my work in COSASE. The rest is no more parliamentary business.
So someone who has written about power and served around and inside power, I would consider, for example, the legislative arm of government power, or being a national leader as a member of parliament power. What has this experience taught you about raw politics or raw power in Uganda?
There are many things that happen that first you may not publicly say, but also that because around Parliament many things happen. The discussions, I discovered, for example, the Parliamentary Commission, and that's why the levels of accountability are low. The connivance of the elite, many of the things that you're going to do when you're in those offices, they're going to be done behind the cameras, they're going to be done in confidence, a lot of negotiation. So the faces that you see in public are not the faces that run things. But they can pretend. What they present to you is not what they are doing. What they state as a purpose is not the purpose. So if you are around Parliament, if you are in cabinet, the advantage that you get a lot of information, and you get to know who is influencing, who is doing what, than ordinarily what is said, what is reported. If everybody who has been in the power and around power one time ever gives you his story, I mean, people will be shocked. People will be shocked.
This connivance that you talk about, now that you've stepped outside Parliament, has your view of Parliament changed?
My view of Parliament,
serious debate?
My view of Parliament hasn't changed. I look at Parliament as a platform. If you're opposition, there are many things you can do. You don't have to win a vote in Parliament. You will do advocacy, you will mobilize. There are things that government will do or stop doing just because of agitation, just because of pressure, because you're also mobilizing public. So my view of Parliament is still important, but I think it has been dismantled systematically and progressively. If you're going to compare the 6th, 7th, and maybe the 11th Parliament, the new MPs were very angry with me when I said this is the 12th Parliament is likely to be the worst Parliament. I was invited to a training session of those new MPs, and they said I judged them harshly. But I think Parliament is not going to change. I don't think there will be any improvements. The handling of business can change, but the outcome is going to remain the same. But still, Parliament is still important. At least it gives you an opportunity to know, and a lot of information is made available to MPs. If you process it properly, the trouble is that there are almost no standards in Parliament. I looked at the policy statements from one of the presidency. If you are very critical in a report about them this year, next financial year, they will withhold all the information. I looked at the vehicle utilization report and the personnel. Nobody did an analysis. In the subsequent policy assessment, they didn't bring it. They just brought almost nothing. That happened with the defense. So Parliament is whose duty is to hold the government accountable. A lot of time is lost. People never sit down there to do the work for which I'll include myself, for which you are paid. So it becomes a ceremony that you will do this, you will do this, and at the end of the day, whether the government has met standards, whether they have not met them, you continue making decisions in their favor.
Well, it would be quite unusual for you to expect MPs to have standards for a position whose qualification is just A-level certificate.
Even if you are O-level, if you say every policy statement must contain a vehicle utilization report, must contain a list of human resource and their enumeration, etc. Even casually looking at the statement, you know that this one doesn't have it. But even when you raise it, they will find technical explanations, and the matter ends there. And this Parliament, the new one, has started from where we stopped. They bring ministers with the dual citizenship nominees, and the Speaker, a distinguished lawyer. Instead of guiding the committee to say these people don't qualify, he says, why don't we vote on this matter? How can you vote on